教授要跟我们去。
西部还可以。先给我这样，
开始。
对对，我们就把椅子
没关系，我不用椅子，因为我要频繁的活动椅子，我不用椅子。谢谢。
差点忘记把椅子弄掉。你这是在那里？看你们懂吗？不会，有吗？没有新增表。
在前年去。没有，我是完了回来之后再开始看。
我是推荐朋友是因为很去按。先配好。他们不太挑剔，从小就高中大学都太挑剔，自然的让我之后呢，他德国英文是日语，所以德国人他们是因为欧洲人哪里讲法就是意大利，而当然有人用法国是经过战争，英国有战争就在世界的时候，他们的空地是法国，所以意大利也有法语进英文，当时的所以德国那个辅音中辅音的话，
老师好，然后2分钟啊，谢谢。
今年是德语，因为我们
开始，如果生应该用这个要因为德国学费那社会德国他只要付出，现在也是但是你要生活费更，所以你不要去像慕尼黑那些大都市，你可以去到国外，你可以到小帕或者大都城里面去。那生活是可以打工，它是音乐上的一个所以你要是没有什么钱的，像因为我昨天有几个德国啊，他就跟我讲德国的学生可以吃饭，然后你都不行到路上。可以，实际上我们高中双语班，所以说，所以我一直觉得现在。对，然后再加上什么，你知道吗？对，不算那个人有一个都快吃2东西了，一个班内有这么多的词典，如果你不做，2个外东西的外形，因为他科技标准大学课标准。到时候他们申请的时候是开了我在台中有，高雄也是，全国都有，所以这个教育的话，他们是教授系的，认真。所以他说这个申请，像在美国或者在 MIT 啊，在都这样申请，你看最多的学校是哪个学校？大学不用建中北一女，然后中根本就没来逼。只要我们的学生，现在比较想到，他看根本没有来逼课程。然后他这个这些这样的台湾的记录是没有都是说美国学校不是我们室内学校，非体制内学校的下一课程。我儿子当初是正大附中、正大附小跟正大人文小学，但是我们大家都学生跟学生的区别，他整天每天不下来课都没用，需要你要花IB 系的，那个是第一年要越南，所以一到中小刚开始1年，因为他不需要。华盛顿大学、华盛顿中学对不对？维多利亚中学完全都不用，他们在讲说进美国的名校，他这个是骗子。
好，各位伙伴，大家早安。那经过40分钟的观课，我想说3位老师都非常用心的设计课程跟教学。那我们也先邀请3位老师来说说，那他历经这一节课的教学过程当中，学生的反应是不是有达成老师原本预设的教学目标？那我们首先邀请我们 Teacher Hurley。
Hi everyone, my name is Hurley, and I think I know that a lot more are coming today, so they're very quiet, less energetic. So today, in the end, we actually have a lot more sharing time. So that was good.
好，谢谢 Teacher Hurley。那开始我们邀请 Teacher Yuna。
Good morning, everyone. I think the students are really energetic, and actually they are good at motor skills. So the class finished faster. So I still have 5 minutes. So I try to have them practice one more time, but I think I should not do that. But I think they enjoy the game and practice the techniques of hurdle. That's what I want. And before playing the game, they think it could be difficult for them to play the game and jump over the hurdles at the same time. But after playing the game, one of students think it's not so hard. So that's why I want to have them practice jumping over the hurdles in the game. That's our today's learning objective. Thank you.
谢谢 Teacher Yuna，我们来和 Teacher Julie。
Okay, hi guys, I'm Julie. First of all, I would like to thank you for coming today because that's a good opportunity to learn from each other. And I feel my students today, they are very quiet. That's not normal at all. Yeah, and I think I spent too much time in instruction, so because my lesson running too slow a little bit, so I didn't do my expectation conclusion, but I think we'll get better. Yeah, and the most important things, I think the students having so much fun during the PE class in English, so I think they will get better and better in English under the bilingual program. So, and I open to take any suggestion and opinion. Yeah, thank you.
谢谢3位老师。那我们现在也邀请就是参与了3堂课的各校的老师来给我们不同的回馈。那首先我们是先邀请参与了4年2班国际教育课程也是Teacher Hurley 课程的艺兴国小老师。
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Teacher Hurley. It was a great lesson on American Thanksgiving. I really enjoyed that lesson. I think the kids had a lot of fun. They were engaged. They were participating with the worksheet, the feather, and then also the singing. They really, really enjoyed that. So thank you for incorporating all of that in your lesson. And so I had a piece of suggestion that I wrote down. It was something I noticed was that the group in the back near the door where I was sitting, so the right back, they were just very quiet. So then I was wondering about their English skills and their English proficiency level. So something I thought was to maybe perhaps mix the group even more, or like have them have different opportunities to be with other students who are perhaps stronger in English. But then you just mentioned that they were probably very nervous. So then what I saw was probably not their 100%. So you know your students best, so you can just take that piece of advice however you want. So thank you.
Thanks, Jessie. And Maybe Elementary School.
I watched our Teacher Hurley's class on Thanksgiving. It was a very, very nice lesson. It was very well done and very structured. I enjoyed the activities and the lessons how I went from going and making the students come back, make the dinner, then move on to the next stage and move from one step to another. Keep it very student-centered and focused, and getting the students to interact with one another and being able to engage and focus on the writing skills a little bit. And it was more like very much course, I did English class more than like international culture class, but I thought it was really, really well done class, and I thought the students really gained something. And I enjoyed the song very much.
Okay, thanks, George. Now we welcome Sandy Elementary School.
Hi, good morning. Hi, Bertie. I want to congratulate you for very good job. And the topic is very interesting. It's like bringing the world to them, like introducing to them how you celebrate Thanksgiving and New Year's. So yeah, like my suggestion is just like maybe you can like use online timer when you're telling them that I give you like 2 minutes to finish your work. And I guess with your co-teacher, you can let her help you like playing your videos and stuff like that, so that it doesn't have much work to do. Yeah. So overall, you did a good job. The classroom is so like calm because I think because you're a speaker. so that's maybe yeah. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you. And next is Teacher Yuna's PE class. First is Quarter Elementary School.
Okay, so thanks for Teacher Yuna's excellent class. So during the class, I enjoyed a lot because teacher keeps students saying like, your front knee has to be bent and high. And so students keep repeating like bend and high, bend and high. And also, I think the games, the Coco games, yes, the Coco games, like students are like really loves that game, like they go crazy, but like they still have fun, and they also learn the hurdle. Yes, they have to jump over the hurdle. And I just have to have a suggestion for you. So I think when you're doing demonstration, you can let students to, after you did it, you say it, and you can let students to demonstrate instead of you demonstrate for students. Yes, and also when they are like stepping 1, 2, 3, I think give them like 1, 2, 3, or like more steps. For example, put some like red dots on the ground, so let them know how many steps they have to count. They have to do it, or they will like sometimes they jump like 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps. I think it's better to let the students know how many steps they have to step. And also, the classroom English, I think it's better to say, can we do this, yes or no? We don't say, don't do this, okay, don't do this, don't do that, okay? Or like demonstrating. You can ask the students, is this okay? Is it correct? Yes. Better than don't do this, don't do that. That's all. I love your class. Thank you.
谢谢佩娟老师。Next, 金浦 Elementary School.
Hi, yes, I also observed your class 401's PE class, which was they were doing like their objective was to learn the process of hurdling as well as like jumping over hurdles, as well as they played a game. And yeah, I want to say that I think your objectives were fully met. They learned the process of like how to properly, like the skills involved in doing hurdles and the fine motor skills. And then you also taught them, you know, the English words associated with it, and so they knew all the like physical movements, how to say them in English. I thought that was great. And the students really looked like they had fun with the game. I wanted to ask you actually, it's called the Coco game, that's what you called it. I never heard of this game before. Is this a traditional game? I just wanted to ask you.
It's from India.
Oh, really? Okay, so I thought it was really interesting, and I missed the beginning of your class. I'm sorry we were late because we were lost, but so I apologize. But it seemed like a really interesting game, and I didn't know if at the beginning of the class, if I missed it, did you like tell them about the class? Have they learned about this? Sorry, did you tell them about the game like before this? Because I'm interested in like, what is this game from India? So were they introduced to that from you? That it's, oh, we're gonna learn today a game, like a traditional game from India.
Later or right now?
I just was curious if you taught them
Okay.
about that because you just had this interesting hurdle game and I was interested about it to learn if this is like a traditional game. I didn't know if it was a traditional game in Taiwan or what. So I didn't know if you introduced that part to them. That was all I was asking. Do they know? Did you tell them, oh, this is a game from India?
Yes, actually we continue the game today. Last time, the other team was the chaser. But today, team B is chaser today. But I changed the rules of the game. That's why they said, oh, it's difficult, it's hard. That's why the students told me that. Because we didn't finish the game last time. Yes, and this time I had them play the game, but I put some hurdles next on the side, on both sides. Yeah, so they are familiar with the rule of the game. Yes.
Well, anyways, I really enjoyed it, so thank you. I thought your objectives were met, and they had a great time, and I thought it was just really interesting that you taught them like a new, culturally different game. So I thought that was really cool. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Terry. And Shinlu Elementary School.
Hello. So, first off, I really love the game. Like I'm sure everyone else here did too. And to be honest, I reread your lesson plan like 10 times, trying to understand the game. And I was like, Mr. Pindle, what's going on here? Once I saw it in action, I completely understood it within 2 seconds. I'm like, oh, okay. So, the game was great. The students also took part in the game. You did a great job of focusing, okay, who didn't run yet? Who didn't play yet? That was great. You really focused on who's not participating, pulling them, get them involved. That's a wonderful job. And I also saw other students talking to each other, like, I think her name was Kelly, maybe a little short. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I saw some students talking to each other, like you have to jump over here, and like they're explaining the rules to each other. So to have that student-to-student talking about the activity is always a positive experience because that's how you know they're having fun. It's like they're engaged, talking to each other, explaining. It's a wonderful sign. So that's an A+ for that class. And I just have 2 quick questions. I couldn't really hear, but did the students speak to you in Chinese in the class?
Yes.
Okay, but you answered in English, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's what I thought. You had some good code switching going on, where they would ask a question in Chinese, but you would answer in English, but they were able to understand it. That's wonderful code switching, and that's an A+ too. And also, very strange question. There's no way to say it, but when you talk about the wrist, use the word rotate, right?
Rotate.
Yeah, rotate. As a PE teacher, I just say spin. It's super small and easy. So, just a quick question, like from a teacher to teacher, there's no right answer, no wrong answer, don't worry. Do you try to use smaller vocabulary, like, okay, spin? Or do you try to use rotate to have a more advanced vocabulary? Or you just don't really think about it too much sometimes?
I just use rotate before.
Okay.
So they are familiar with rotate and the ankle rotate.
Okay, excellent. And one last thing to say is that when you had everyone practice the running 1, 2, 3 jump, 1, 2, 3 jump, every student practiced about 1 time. I think once everyone practiced the first time and you saw that everyone's doing it safely, correctly, you could have them practice again, but at a much faster pace. Like, alright, 3, 2, 1, go, blow. They run. And before they even finish, 3, 2, 1, go. This way it gets them more active, engaged in the PE class. That's all. You did a wonderful job, so don't worry.
Thank you for your feedback. It's good. Next is the Julie's PE class of 201. First, we invite the Sandong Elementary School.
Hello. Hello, good morning. Teacher Nisha. Hi, Julie. Yeah, so I saw your class. The games were good, especially the caterpillar game. Yeah, I can see students' eagerness to win the game, especially when, for example, their emotion when they lose. Yeah, and after that, just a little bit suggestion. Maybe when we start the game, try to have trial game first to see if the students understood your instruction. But overall, that's great.
Thanks, Anisha. And Ms. Wuchen, Elementary School.
Hi, Teacher Julie. I'm Vivian. First of all, I have to say I want to be your students in your class. You're amazing. I mean, the instruction is very clear, and you really make sure the students understand what you're talking about, and you let the students to show what you want them to do, and the interaction with you and between you and your students are very good. And about the kung fu dance, it's really cute. Did you make it or you see it on the YouTube? Oh, YouTube. Oh. And yeah, it's a good class, and you're a warm teacher.
Thanks. 我们next 文华 Elementary School.
Alright, so good morning everyone. Hi. Good morning Teacher Julie. Okay, so first of all, I would like to congratulate you for a job well done. And I can say first, the objectives were really met successfully. The students actually understood the different cues on how to pass the ball, up, down, right, left, something like that. So they really understood those things. And next thing, I can say that you're really well prepared, and even the students are really well, motivated, and they are really very enthusiastic when it comes to learning the lesson, something like that. And then I can say also that it can be seen that you really have a good control on the teaching process. And even the students, really they are very disciplined enough. And as what you've said a while ago, the students are quite quiet. Maybe because of the pressure, something like that, right? Yes. And aside from that, I think just one quick suggestion, I think it would be much better to give more time to deal with the different cues. Give them more questions, like what are the different things you see up, what are also the different things you can see down, and even the things you see on your right, maybe on your left as well, for them to really understand what are the things that you would want them to learn. But overall, it was really a very good job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, 我想在场除了各校老师的回馈，那我们在场也有2位我们创新学校的前辈校长。我们首先是先邀请武泉国小林文胜校长，也给我们一些建议跟回馈。欢迎掌声欢迎文胜校长。
教授和各位校长，还有各位双语的伙伴，大家早。刚刚很荣幸可以观摩到2年甲班老师的教学。那有几点看法那第一个就是我看完之后，我觉得老师是一个像学记里面叫善问者他是蛮容易用这个对答的方式来引导学生不管是这个各式语言的引导还是体育的这个部分的动作的引导，都做得相当的好。学记里面有个善问者那你的学生也是一个善待问者那当你大声的引导的时候，他就大声；当你小声的时候，他就小声这样师生的情谊其实交融在里面是相当的难得所以从这个古书学记的看法来看这一点，我觉得蛮欣赏那另外，我觉得老师笑容满面所以上课一定是非常快乐学生。那另外，你常常用下一个动作是什么来问学生让学生这个方面我看这一方几乎没有这个英语的因素在里面的困扰，所以做得非常好。那学生的对答相当的棒那另外就是你也善于称赞学生，我觉得这个在教室里面也很棒这个是一个成功教学的元素 那另外学生部分在暖身运动里面那能够用这一首舞曲来让学生复习英文也好，复习课式也都好那我觉得这些孩子他相当的活泼，很天真很棒。那我觉得他们也玩得非常的开心那这节课体育课是蛮适合双语教学的那玩得开心就好因为目的就是这样玩得开心，然后肢体动作也达到目标了，这样就可以了。那至于语言到底你上课他要讲中文讲英文这都无法快乐就好。那在课程里面设计暖身活动，这相当特别不错。那整个在肢体的动作也跟你后面的传球也达到一定的连结了不是说你为了后面的这个传球，然后故意去设计一个什么，我觉得这个都 OK 那另外我唯一一点我是觉得这一点也蛮称赞你的，因为我觉得当你在讲一个英文的时候学生听不懂，那因为你是单独一位老师，那你适时的用中文来呈现，这个是我蛮称赞的，因为我觉得不要纠结在这上面那你目的是让你学生听得懂，那你真的你讲那个听 game 他可能听不太懂，那你最后你用中文去说明，我觉得这个都无妨，也是我蛮称赞的地方。那我们学校老师我也这样跟他讲，我说真的不要纠结在这里面那你目标就是让你这节课可以上完那你这个东西你可以下一节课再指导也可以你不是这一节课上完就没有了好，那最后一点我觉得要提出来的有不同的看法，因为我以前是一位比较皮的老师以前校长对我也他大概会蛮头痛的。那其他的科任老师对我蛮头痛，因为我带的班级都很活泼很活泼的时候，我不太喜欢去管秩序因为我觉得这节课很自然的呈现我只要我接着下一个动作，那学生可能在那边做其他的事他会看到我在做什么事，他自动去调节过来了我之前去欧洲参观学校，我很少看到在管秩序的。那您那个叫学生看你的这个语言用了很多次大概一节课不下30次所以管秩序这个部分，那这个没有对跟错只是说我个人的看法。我以前科任老师都会跟我抱怨，说你们班那个秩序太差了，叫我去管秩序那会有这个困扰。不过我还是蛮称赞，如果说试试看试试看有几节课不要用这么多，你看着我看着你这样的管理秩序的语言的话，试试看看看效果会怎么样，把这些时间多用在课程的教学上面那我的想法是这样，谢谢。
谢谢文森校长非常正向的建议。那我们也邀请快乐国小李玉松校长。
前辈。
教授，然后教育局长跟各位先进、各位伙伴，大家好。我现在终于知道为什么校长出席率越来越低了。那我刚才看的是4年1班的乌娜拉老师的上课。那其实我觉得一堂课堂的成功，一个班级经营是个很重要。那可以，刚才我们在看到乌娜老师的课堂，其实它进行的非常顺遂，然后整个课室的经营其实都非常的流畅然后再来，我们看到学生的程度都很好，都能够完全理解老师在课堂上给他一些教导跟指导的一个部分然后在教学策略，其实刚才教授一直在强调从做中学，然后让学生从游戏中去做学习，所以这堂课我们看老师用游戏式的方式来带领学生去做练习跟体育课的学习，这个是值得我们学习跟敬佩的部分。那因为体育课教学还是有它一定的方式跟步骤，那我这边给老师2个一个建议。第一个 ，hurdle 刚开始好像摆错了，对不对？方向摆错了。没有。我们这个事情要再研究。然后第二个，我觉得在做那个 test step before jump 那个 practice 的部分其实我觉得这个部分应该是这课堂是重点。要教的重点应该可以再让他精确的去做，比如说刚才我们老师有提到，你可能带学生 1, 2, 3 jump 等等的这个部分。另外一个可以再看到很多体育老师在上课，其实他可以先用走的，用练习慢慢走1, 2, 3，然后他也练习数字的练习，然后再 jump， 然后再从走到 好再跳这个部分，那对学生的练习会比较精实一点点。好，那最后那个游戏真的很有趣，规则我看不懂，学生都玩。好，非常谢谢老师，谢谢。
谢谢两位前辈校长。那最后我们还是要邀请到我们整个桃园市双语计划最重要的指导教授，我们先邀请陈超明教授来为我们针对今天的教学给我们建议跟指导。
I really like these three classes. I think most of it just give a very positive feedback to these teachers, and we can learn something from these three classes. And I even like this kind of dialogue better than just just observing the classroom. As for the first one, the international education. I mean, just as Chen just mentioned, what is the nature of this international education? Whereas sometimes it's a little bit confusing. Whether it's a language class, or whether it's a cultural class, or whether it's really international education class. So, what kinds of position you want to put yourself, or what kind of the how do I say? In what way, or in the whole course made, what are you going to put your international position you want to put the international education into? So, Thanksgiving dinner, of course, I think I have no problem with your cultural aspects and what you mentioned, you have to the American way. Yesterday, what was that? Yesterday was the Thanksgiving Day. So you divide the core class. I think a few of you just have a very wonderful classroom management and very effective, learning for your provide very effective learning for the students, and your teaching is very efficient, and I have no problem with that. But I just have the question about the nature of international education. Most of the time, it's easier for us to just introduce festival, holiday to students. But I think culture is more than that. So in European countries, when they talk about international education, they actually use some of these ideas from SDG, some of the kind of international issue for the students, just instead of just national days like holidays, Halloween, Thanksgiving. I mean, I really don't like I'm sorry, I really don't like too many holidays in this part. When you have the holidays, maybe you can bring back some of the why American develop this kind of set up this kind of holidays as being how are going to have different kind of cultural differences between Taiwan or between Asia and the United States. And of course, I think the last part is very good. It's something where I thank you. I'm thankful for my family or whatever I try to bring a kind of gap between the American Thanksgiving Day and where we can do what we can do in Taiwan. I think that's a good link between this. But maybe you can do more than that. I don't know how you design what kind of element you design your own topics in your curriculum, or I think that later when you have come up with some kind of the designing of your international education, I wish that you could just maybe refer to some of the international issues that the global citizenship are closely related. UNESCO just have the announcements. It's published the white paper for international education, which is focusing on so-called cultivating global citizenship. And there are a lot of the dimensions in that way, and they just give you different kinds of guidelines for what you can do in elementary school, junior high school, and senior high school. Maybe you can just go beyond the introduction to international or holiday festivals in other countries. That's just my suggestion. Maybe you can do more than that. But I have no problem with your class. I think it's wonderful. The first part of the experience is a good report about the choice of the dishes in Thanksgiving dinner. That was great. And then the second part, you ask them to write down something. Maybe you just Tracy had a confusion about whether you want them to practice their language or whether they want to develop their sense of this kind of cultural differences or cultural elements. That's why we are so confused about the nature of this process. And sometimes they use a lot of, a few of you just use a lot of ICQ to check for student understanding about instructions, about some of these activities that they really can understand, especially the last one, the chasing game. I just check about that part. It's a bit complicated when you just go through the lesson plan, and I really don't know what to do. But we see that it's a very interesting game. But again, what is chasing? I like this game. The students have a wonderful time there, and they just have fun with this kind of game, and it was wonderful. There are no problem with that. But if it is a chasing game or what is hurdling activities, maybe later most part was going to be focused on the chasing part instead of just hurdling. But your focus for this class, this is a principal just mentioned, like this hurdling, and maybe you have to give them some kind of safety tips about hurdling. Right, so maybe yes, in your wrapping up, in the final conclusion, you just tell students, just tell students that what the hurdling is about, how to do that safely or whatever, right? But in between, maybe before the chasing games, you can just practice that hurdling step by step instead of just went for that kind of chasing game. But anyway, just as some of the teachers mentioned, that it's more important that the students have fun and interesting, and they really practicing and use up their energy and practice some kind of physical fitness. And for the first one, Julia's class, I really enjoy Julia's one. I think it's very energetic, and students have a lot of responses to you, and I don't know why students maybe some of students were in these three classes maybe because we were there, so students would seem to be too quiet, afraid of speaking whether Chinese or English. And my suggestion for you for this part, but you can especially for all the teachers here. But it's okay that when students speak Chinese, and you can respond to them in English. But you can do one more thing. When they ask you, 老师，我要这个意思. You can, you mean what color do I need to use? You can just try to use English to repeat students' question, and then later maybe they will use the sentence to ask you the questions. If you do that several times, or 1 year, and then later, 1 or 2 years later, they can use the sentence you give to them to answer the question, to ask the questions. Okay, that's what I did in my college. When students ask me in Chinese and they don't know how to say that in English, I said, "Oh, you mean so and so and so." Is that right? And then later, then 2 months later, they going to ask the question. And as for the time when you can speak Chinese in class, or whether this is also be the all English class, I have no any kinds of the guidelines for that. It depends on the classes. You want on situation when you want to use, whether you will be more effective, more efficient in your teaching when you use Chinese or English. But I don't like the so-called translation. You don't have to say, for instance, you say that pass the wall. What do you mean pass the wall means? And the students say, "Oh, 传球." Maybe you can use some kind of body language to say this is the pass the ball. I mean, they don't have to use the Chinese to understand pass the wall, pass the ball, or even the teammates. Oh, this is your teammate. You together, you are in two. You are in one group. So your teammate, your teammates. Maybe use that kind of the actions or movements or any body language to tell them how to do that. You can use the very easy way, not too much of the Chinese. I didn't mean that you cannot use Chinese, but don't count on Chinese translation too much. Otherwise, student will wait for your Chinese and they think, what's the purpose of using English as a medium instruction in your class? So they use more of this body language is really nice. Okay, but all in all, I think that we have a wonderful time with these 3 classes. Some of you don't have to care too much about our comments. We have to say something, right? So sometimes, the observer, we tend to be very picky about your classes. But anyway, that is not judgmental. We are not judgmental. We just want to learn something from you and to see that we can learn from each other, and where we can just do a little bit, changes, and maybe we can some of you just share with some experience that we can pick up for your next classes. Okay, thank you anyway. But my suggestion is when you design your curriculum or your course, you have to see that for each class, what are the objectives you want to students to develop, or you want to achieve, or what kind of competency you want them to achieve. For instance, that your hurdling or chasing class, where is safety tips are very important, or the hurdling, the way how to jump out of the hurdles is very important, or chasing is important, or to allow the student to just do some kind of exercise is very important. So which part is more important? They have some kind of focus, and then students take home to see that, I have some kind of focus. We don't have too much time, so every class has its own focus. And for international education, what is your focus? What is the competency you want the students to develop in this kind of class? Do you know about American culture? Or it's just about the way we have to thank people for doing anything? Thank your family, thank your teachers for doing good things for you. What is the purpose of what's the opening objectives of the voice class, and try to focus upon that parts, and whether it is from the warm up to the activities and even to the end of your class. That's my suggestion for this one. And international education, I wish most of teachers here, maybe, I don't know, so you can just Google it to see that there will be new trends in international education right now around the world. SDGs will be very popular topics. But we used to teach only in the holidays and Halloween. I really don't like Halloween at all. I don't know why. When I was in the States, I just hate Halloween. Anyway, so international education is not only about holidays or about festivals. It's about how we develop our global citizenship, how we engage the whole world through different kinds of topics, like animals under the sea. How do you protect, how do you see the animals under the sea? That's one of the SDGs purpose. Or how about the global warming, or how about the gender equality, right? All these kind of things will be part of it. Even you can do that kind of the gender equalities in elementary school. There will be design different kind of games for that. With my sister, not to her thing, no, not for you. I don't think you do a wonderful job for your class design, but I think maybe international education can involve more of the other global issues and develop students kind of citizenship of the future. Okay, that's my big opinion. Thank you. And anyway, I really had a good time with three of you here. Thank you very much for your efforts and contribution to the Chinese education here in Daken and School.
好，问一下张老师有没有要回应？
Okay, thank you to all of the feedbacks and comments, and I just want to
back to Professor Chen's comment. In our international education class, we do have a series of international education and PGS books. But because our open class is today, and it's very close to Thanksgiving, so that's why we have a Thanksgiving edition class. But usually, it's not all just about holidays. We have all different kinds of topics. For example, our grade 3, we're learning about how not to waste water and water around the world, and also food around the world, how some people have no food to eat, some people have a lot of food to eat, and we have all different kinds of topics just because it's very close to Thanksgiving today, so that's why I think just let students experience Thanksgiving dinner and how to have a thankful heart. So yeah, just want to explain that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The reason why I'm sorry. The reason why I brought up this the hobby issue is that in most of the schools, you tend to teach only in the holidays because it just demonstrates to us, present to us that the American Thanksgiving Day. So I was afraid that the teacher will be thinking about the international education and also the international education. But anyway, your explanation will be okay with us that you will have different kinds of topics and just some different kind of issues. That's good. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for the professor and principal and everyone's courage and advice. I'll take in mind. And I think in my class there's only one word I translate in Chinese, which is team game. That's it. Yeah, that would be. So I think the students have so much fun in the class, but I'm very grateful that you mentioned that I can do like the action to express explanation to my word to the students. That will be better for them. So thank you for your advice. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm too nervous. First of all, be honest, I used the game and teach this topic, hurdle techniques in the other class. And I try to put the small circle on the floor, help students to understand how many steps you should take. And one of my students asked me, "Teacher, if I cannot do that, is it okay?" And so I asked the other physical education teacher. Actually, I am an English teacher. This is first time I teach PE class in English. So my major is not physical education. So I need other teachers give me some suggestions. So one of teachers told me that, is it okay for children if they really cannot take the same steps? That's fine. It's great if they can take the same steps. So I remember that when I put the circles to help my students to count the steps, it will limit them. They are afraid, how many steps should I take right now? So I would let my students know, no matter how many steps you want to take, that's fine. Just try to jump over the hurdle and don't fall down. And for me, because I care about their safety very much. So every time I will ask them just try to do it. And before today's class, one of my students asked me, "Teacher, may I speak Chinese in class?" I said, "Yes, you may, but just try your best to speak English. If your sentence is wrong, that's fine, okay? You are brave to speak out, that's fine." Okay, so actually they are nervous. I'm nervous too. And about the games, yes, it's complicated. I remember the first time I read the rules of the game, I really don't want to understand it. And I tried to watch the video, and the first time, I didn't explain too much to my students. I just have them play. And we have a practice round. And when they do something wrong and they violate the rules of the game, I will tell them, you should not do that. You cannot go turn back. You have to run around. You cannot jump over the hurdles. You cannot jump over center line like that. So just have the students do that. Although it's complicated, they understand it finally. Okay, that's all about. Thanks for your suggestion today. Thanks.
That's the final comment. So, my observations. I have to thank you for your wonderful presentation and teaching here today. As I have mentioned many times, this EMI classes or this EMI program to be student-centered one. So we like to see more of this interaction between the students and the teacher. We like to not to force the students to open their mouths to talk and respond to you. So it will be better. And we seem to witness a lot of the responses, so reply and then the questions, or even the echoing of the instructions from the students. I like to hear more of the students talk. So just speaking to all the teachers here, it's not you who should be talking a lot. It's the student who should be the learners in your class and they do a lot of learnings in your class. That's my final comment. And thank you. You did a wonderful job. Thank you.
下面我可不可以请现场的参与的伙伴再给我们3位老师一个热烈的掌声？对，大家都看得出我们3位老师非常非常认真的准备，而大坑国小从108学年度开始参与这个双语的计划，从一开始那个冯校长跟超明教授都曾经见证过我们这边不是步履蹒跚，是完全不会走的状况。非常辛苦的过程当中，我们一步一步的往前走，到现在目前这个情形，我觉得我真的非常非常感谢老师们在这个过程当中，不管是课程设计的努力，或是跟其他专业领域的老师，包括像体育老师，我们这学期也开始拉入我们的体育老师跟我们的老师、英文老师们一起来共同的备课，讨论在这个体育课里面需要的专业知识是什么。那当然，今年是第4年，然后我们也相信。在慢慢持续的累积的当中，我相信孩子的语言能力会慢慢的建立起来。在未来第5年、第6年的时候，我也相信孩子能学的东西是会越来越多的。我们是朝这个目标前进。那最后我们还是要邀请我们的蒙校长来给我们指导与勉励，掌声欢迎蒙校长。
谢谢教授，副理事长辛苦。我今天看到一道光，一个非常感人的光。我觉得在今天的整个关于课当中啊，确实我们在一个非常信赖的氛围，我们看到有非常多正向的关于教学专业的对话跟沟通，这就是这一道感人的光芒。那这个光来的不容易，尤其特别是昌明老师带着我们，再一次谢谢各位老师，因为有大家，真的我们相信双语真的会越来越好，因为这是一条不能也无法回头的路。谢谢大家今天参与我们的公益课。下一回，应该我们亮点学校，我们专业学校的7堂公益课都已经结束了哈，很短的时间就完成。我要特别谢谢我的秀仪主任。今年一个大帮手，达天校长。当然啦，不能忘记就是诗媛，耶！下一次就换到各位在座的亮点学校了希望我们一起加油只要开始就会很厉害，谢谢大家。
好，谢谢彭校长。我想 期待明年下一次再到大坑的时候，我们就再次更进步的多了一点点。今天非常高兴看到大家在一起，也非常的荣幸。那我们今天的观益课就到这边结束。那我们稍后离开的时候，我们有准备了一点点小小的礼物给各位参与今天观益课的伙伴们，因为今年也是大坑国小的80周年校庆，我们刚刚办完了80周年校庆，所以有准备一点点的小礼物送给大家，也感谢大家，欢迎大家随时都可以到大坑来看看我们的好景好人，谢谢大家，谢谢。
待会请那个今天参与观课的老师们，将你们的回馈表夹在板夹上，然后待会就交给我们大坑的伙伴们，然后就顺便领取你们今天的餐点还有纪念品。好，谢谢大家。